Hello and welcome to Force Talk, a Star Wars podcast. Also a bit of a man bun, hipstery podcast today. Yours looks particularly. Yeah, we're doing it in sync. We'll do that again. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah. So I'm alive. By the way, I'm back alive. I was released by a lady dressed as a bounty hunter who told me I had hibernation sickness, but apparently it was somebody who loved me. So we've got lots and lots to be talking about, so let's get on with it on Force Talk. Shaboom! Star Wars news, and we've lost our man bun cosplay. Not really cosplay, but that's just how we do things here. Before we start talking about this, because we're really good about these things on Force Talk, we might not have been in the past, but now we're going to do this from now on. So, before we do any of this stuff, spoiler alert! So, if you don't want to know what's going to happen in some of the future movies, some of it's conjecture anyway, but just be aware that you might hear something that you don't want to hear. Okay? So, first thing, comicbookgalaxy.com posted a piece which says Anakin Force Ghost may take Kylo Ren to the light side in Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Star Wars Episode 8 will include an Anakin Skywalker Darth Vader hybrid Force Ghost who will take Kylo Ren back to the light side, as indicated by a theorist of Star Wars. Ever since the Star Wars spin-off trilogy was reported, fans have been thinking about whether Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker will return in The Last Jedi. Having seen an early screening, Disney boss Bob Iger started a theory by calling it a great next chapter in the iconic Skywalker family saga. Furthermore, Star Wars ace Mike Zeroh has highlighted how there was a concept art. We also highlighted this, I think, in a previous episode, by the way. A concept art with Anakin's Force Ghost from Return of the Jedi in his new Zero. They've even written this wrong. Both the dark and light, and it seemed as though they were three different stages. One with Anakin with the hood, one with some metal scrapes on his face with the hood as well, and then it looked like Darth Vader helmet with a hood over it, which was the complete form. And there's a bit more information there if you want to check out the link, as you see on the screen. So, how do we feel about Hayden Christensen returning, Michael, first of all?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because, like I just said, we've seen the concept art from The Force Awakens.
Which you pointed out.
Yeah, mentioned in another episode. So they've probably been holding back until it was right for the story and then bringing him in The Last Jedi. But I think it'd be quite a nice twist if he actually appears to turn him to the light side. Because otherwise, if I always thought in The Force Awakens, when Kylo Ren's talking to his grandfather, you think after he was redeemed at the end of the Return of the Jedi, why is he evil again? So it might be that when he does finally appear to Kylo Ren, he's actually trying to get him back to the light side. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, could be. Because I remember mentioning also in that last thing about him being a sort of split personality.
Yeah.
And maybe he still has kind of both that.
So
and that's what they're talking about maybe in this progression of the way that he looks.
Yeah,
Nick, what do you reckon?
I think there's a good chance of Hayden Christensen being in the next film, but in terms of successfully changing Kylo Ren to the light side, never going to happen. You just get rid of your antagonist like halfway through.
Very good point.
It'd make zero sense.
It'd make episode 9 a bit flat.
What if they used it though as a sort of mechanism to have a relationship build between Rey and Kylo, and then in episode 9 Snoke seduces Rey to the dark side and ends up where Rey's the Sith Lord or bad person and Kylo's back on helping Luke. It'd be quite interesting. But because
Lady Vader,
we've already seen Anakin turn to the dark side, and we've seen Luke sort of prevail on the light side. So maybe they're looking at a way of twisting it all about, and yeah, I think it'd be interesting. Quite interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, what do you reckon?
It'd be nice for Hayden not to get as much flack as he did for the the prequels. But
Yeah.
we were saying, like, it could be Rey turning to the dark side. That's very Revan and Bastilla Shan. Because Bastilla did turn to the dark side for a short time in the Knights of the Old Republic. And Revan brought her back with his love.
Ah.
Well, interesting. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, the biggest chunk of news really is coming via D23, which happened over the weekend just gone. The timing was terrible. I was waiting for whatever trailer it was going to be, like, all day. Andy, who does our music, as you know, was like refreshing the pages, and we're like chatting backwards and forwards, and then I was like, I can guarantee that the minute this trailer drops, I'll be just getting in my car to go to a gig, and that's exactly what happened. I didn't get to watch it until like 1 a.m. or whatever. So, but before we get to the trailer, we're going to do have a look at the character teasers, posters that they revealed at D23. So, kicking off, I think, first with Luke Skywalker. So there we go.
First off, I want to say, where's the top of his face?
I'm glad you said that. I am very glad you said that. Because as soon as they revealed these posters, I have to say that I just was like, You know, and you know how important, like, Star Wars posters are to me.
Yeah.
That's no secret. It appears to me that kind of Disney are de-artifying the trilogy. I mean, there was a little bit of artwork involved, whether you liked it or not. There was a little bit of artwork involved in the Force Awakens poster. That being said, though, I'm pretty sure it was digital artwork and not artwork. I mean, they're still dipping a toe in that kind of stuff. Obviously, we know our friend Paul Shipper did all the key art for like Star Wars Celebration and stuff like that. But these posters are just digital art. I don't think there's a great deal of imagination put into them. I mean, there's a bit of artistic styling at the bottom, but the decision to cut the top of the head off, I think, is idiotic.
I can see why they've done it. I mean, when I first saw them, I thought it hadn't downloaded properly, so I had to go click on it a couple of times and I realised they're all the same.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think they've done it, it's like they've just cut their eyes off, and I think it could be that if you can't see someone's eyes, you can't really gauge whether they're good or bad or what's going on. And it's if they're making everyone, like the bad guys and Luke and everything, just mysterious that you don't know if there's who's good and who's bad, and they're all in red. So I think it's kind of making a statement that Episode 8's going into this unknown.
Yeah.
Who's who? So you don't know what you're going to get from the character. So I think that's why they've done it. But it does look a bit frustrating when you just see.
The other thing that I noticed, perhaps we should have shown a picture of this, but you can do your own research on the internet. Have a look at the character one sheets for the Matrix Revolutions. They're exactly the same. They've got their tops of the head cut off, and it's just like a picture of the character. So, Disney, put your trust back into artists, please, and put some art back into film posters. That's my fervent hope, but I think it'll probably fall on deaf ears.
One thing, have you noticed in the Luke poster, he's holding his Empire Strikes Back lightsaber.
He is.
And that, which is the one that Rey has. So is that just, you think, for artistic license, showing that he holds that lightsaber at some point, or has he not got a lightsaber anymore and he uses the same one as Rey?
You have raised a very good point there, because when we spin on to Rey's in a few moments, that will be a discussion point. But next, I believe, is it Luke's sister, Great General Leia? Again, it's nice to see her looking regal and that, and they're very much sticking with this red theme, as we've seen in the BTS trailer, all that red dirt or whatever it is flying around everywhere.
Getting less of a general vibe and more of a sort of politician sort of vibe from this one as well.
Yeah. So there you go. That's Princess Leia. Are we doing Rey next? Was that? Yeah. There you go. So check out the lightsaber. It's the same one.
Yeah.
It's the same lightsaber, and also we've got like a cloak that we've not really seen her in before either. So this could be her Jedi outfit, or just something else entirely. I'm going to guess Jedi cloak, though, because obviously.
Or it's raining and she just
sense.
wants a poncho.
Possibly. I mean, it does look like
it's raining on Acto.
Rainy. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look. Well, it is Ireland, so you're going to be expecting a bit of rain there, to be sure. What do you think of them stylistically? Does it work for you, the whole...
Yeah, I agree with Michael. You don't know what they're thinking, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Can you
I
tell
can't
whether
see
I'm
your-
good or bad at this point?
I can still see your man bum from here, so you are quite bad.
Fair enough. Okay, so moving on. We're doing... completely...
Finn.
Yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, Finn. Again, is he wearing the jacket that he always wears there, but they've just kind of redded it up a bit?
Yeah, it looks.
They're
I
readying
think
up
it's the one in
everyone.
the
Yeah, they're ready
behind
to
the
put-
scenes, the sort of yellow jacket. But obviously,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just really disappointed he's not cybernetic. You wanted his cybernetic wang, didn't you? If you remember.
Yeah.
Right.
If you remember.
That is another episode. So it looks like he's just miraculously back to normal after having his
It's back to, isn't it? I mean,
spine sliced up.
Okay, we're not seeing below the waist on the picture, so it could very well be
Ah,
some
you
cybernetics
never
there.
know. Yeah, still might happen.
or maybe that's what the pictures are getting at, because we don't actually see any of the legs or the eyes, so maybe they're all just floating around like Darth Maul.
Could be.
After he's been cut in half.
Could be. Or maybe that little thing that R2 has that comes out and does the in the doorways and stuff like
What?
that. He might have one of them.
Yeah, so what?
Anyway, we digress. So next of our heroes, please. Poe. It's your boyfriend, Poe Dameron, Sarah.
And mine.
And
He's a very handsome man.
he is a
He's-
very handsome man. Is he got is that like a
It's a
rebel,
rebel
insignia
insignia.
on his
Yeah.
arm there?
Well, he's got a new jacket after giving Finn rather his old one.
He has. He seems to have stolen Han Solo's
We
shirt
might have
as
a
well.
wardrobe full of jackets, guys.
What I find alarming is that like nobody's sorted Finn out with like a few changes of clothes in the meantime. Like I know not a lot time has elapsed, but
Well, the rebellion don't have money. They've got to cut corners
Yeah, I
somewhere. Do you
suppose.
know what I mean? It's like...
it's for resistance now, Paddy. Everything's different.
Yeah, it's the resistance now. So obviously, you know, they're going through their own kind of version of space Brexit or whatever, and you know, they've got to cut corners and not give Poe as much clothes as he would like. So last up, Kylo Ren.
Nearly see his eyes.
Yeah, they
Nearly.
made a decision to give us a bit more of his head.
You can see the scar as well,
You can
where
see
it travels
the
down his neck.
travelling scar as well. Yeah.
But yeah, so they've, like I say, they've made it so the good guys and the bad guys all look the same, really.
Yeah,
think
I said the good
deliberate-
guys are kind of like face on, he's side
Yeah.
on. That's the only difference, really, isn't it?
Is it because he's walking away from the dark side? Maybe changing his path.
Nope.
Yeah.
Be ridiculous.
Yeah, so not that impressed.
Although that
Sorry.
being said, they said that we were
Don't like
going to.
I actually prefer them to the Force Awakens character posters, though, because they were just photographs of people. At least this has got some art, some kind of symbolism,
Yeah.
something's going on.
Yeah.
Might become clearer after you see
Like
the
a
film.
set.
Yeah, but I would say, like, if you're gonna, you know, make a decision. If you're gonna have a photograph, have a photograph. If you're gonna have something arty, give it to an artist. There's plenty of them out there who are looking for work and that do Star Wars exceptionally well. Use them. So, next up, we got the behind the scenes trailer at D23, as we were discussing before. Let's take a look at it.
Everybody set? 3, 2, 1.
Action.
Episode 8. Gosh. The first film didn't even have a number.
Ryan has written a story that's unexpected but right. Some of the stuff that happens, people are going to be like, oh my God.
Even though I think I know it all, they throw things at me story-wise I never could have imagined.
And even though everybody knows that it's the second in a trilogy, it feels like its own thing.
Go.
Star Wars is so cool because there's all these creatures and all these amazing visual effects. but all the characters are also so complex.
Ryan needs to work on his Wookiee sounds. It's ridiculous. New director can't even just learn a Wookiee sound.
It feels like the storylines are becoming more established. We're really getting to know these new characters, also with the characters that we know and love. We're seeing their lives change.
Everything is being shifted in the opposite way to what the audience expected after 7. Ryan's made Star Wars fresh and new.
I'm hoping it'll be a little shocking, but I'm hoping it'll feel real and honest.
It's our most ancient story of good against evil, told in the most fascinating way, but it has a real spiritual depth to it.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
It's a wrap!
Shaboozawam!
It's a wrap! So what did we think about that? Plenty of things to pick up on.
Porgs!
Let's get the porgs out of the way first, because you two are very excited about...
Space puffins.
Space puffins, yeah.
Very cute.
They are very cute. They will. I'm sure they won't make an exceptionally high-selling toy at Christmas.
It's the Last Jedi's version of an Ewok.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But they're also force sensitive, so they might actually be of use.
Come on. How do we know they're force sensitive?
Read it on the internet.
So it's
force sensitive
it's on the internet,
space
so it's
puffins.
Yeah, I can get behind this. I can get behind
Think about them.
space puffins using the force.
Force choking you from a porg.
Imagine
force choking you with a fish.
Imagine that for first trailer where Rey's like, maybe she's just got choked out by some space
Oh,
she's
God.
like, what are these dumb little space puffins do? Cut to black.
Okay, I'm really excited about the film now.
Porgs.
Yeah, for more space puffins, the better, in my opinion. What do you think, Michael?
They're alright, yeah.
They're
Not
cute.
that excited.
They're so cute, though. Look at them.
I like the weird tinsel fox. Did you see the fox with the silver
Oh,
nose?
yeah.
And then the rest of it's made out of tinsel.
Yeah.
Bit weird, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of strange looking aliens crop. I still want some traditional Rhodians and hammerheads thrown in. It's like all the ones we've known in all the other films.
We haven't seen any
seem to be there.
Twi'leks yet, have we?
Yeah, but it's a very big universe, isn't it? So you've got to
but
introduce some
there's
new
humans
stuff,
everywhere, and you expect some of the old aliens.
Yeah, but
to
if
crop up,
it's-
but the new ones look cool.
Yeah, but
And they've got to sell more toys.
yeah,
That's true.
And it's easier to cosplay humans than it is Twi'leks and stuff.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
but I was more
Try and cosplay an
excited.
Arthurian.
More excited by the behind the scenes reel than I was by the trailer, to be honest.
Really?
I thought there was more to see, more going on. I love the new outfits for Rey and Luke. Rey's grey robes,
yeah,
and
I like that.
Luke's leathery cape and greyness. Everyone's going grey, so it's definitely that kind of blurring the lines, I think, between the obvious,
Might be the
black
colour what's
outfits
in
of the
it.
Sith and
And what did you pick up on there about Kylo Ren and...
yeah, there's a couple of shots. There's one of Daisy Ridley, like in rehearsals, where she's got a lightsaber and there's 3 guys going up with wooden sticks. So I think they could be the Knights of Ren, as if she's fighting them off. But then there's one shot where she's got a staff, I think, could be wrong, but she's got a staff or a lightsaber. And it looks like Adam Driver stood next to her, and they're both doing the same move. Now, whether I could be wrong, I don't know if it is Adam Driver, it could be her stunt coach.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if it's a scene where perhaps Rey and Kylo are actually fighting the same enemy, as if they've teamed up, which could go to the thing where they start, something's going on between them, and they may be fighting Snoke together.
Are they going to be the Knights of... Sorry.
Go on.
Are they going to be the Knights of Ren, or are they going to be the Praetorian Guard for
Could be.
Snoke?
Could be the Praetorians, yeah.
Well,
But yeah, there's some if you pause some of the stunt behind the scenes work, there's definitely
They show lots of
little
battles and stuff.
interesting things going on, more than definitely fighting more than one enemy, and there's definitely a scene, like I say, where there's Rey and a guy who looks like Adam Driver. I'm not saying it is him, but it could be the Kylo character, both fighting together, not each other, but together.
There's another thing there as well. I mean, you keep an open mind in that regard also, because it could just be on-set rehearsals of the actors just rehearsing.
It could just be the stunt guy showing her what to do, and they're both doing the same
it could be
together,
that. But again, it'd be interesting if that was the case. But
I don't think they'd give away anything that major.
Mind you, in the behind the scenes Rogue One, there's a picture of Anakin in the tank, the Darth Vader scene, which was really obvious. And and there was even like a maquette, or what do you call it? Like a model of Anakin with all his tubes in the back to tank.
I'd argue
that's why did they let that leak out in the Rogue One behind the scenes?
Point, though, is it? As like a tiny little detail.
Quite a big thing though when they sort of
it's saying Darth Vader's going to be in the film, but we knew Darth Vader was going to be in the film. But to put something that massive like Ren and Kylo Ren are fighting like a common enemy.
That's very subtle though. Only I noticed it.
Yeah, that's true.
But just interesting.
Oh, there's so much to be going through in this.
And it kind of looks like Princess Leia's getting around. Like they've shown shots of her in a few.
You wish.
Get around. They've kind of seen. Seen shots of her in different locations, so that could go along with this kind of more ambassadorial, regal look that she's got going on.
You've got to think she's basically trying to sort of get everyone together to fight for First Order, isn't she? That's probably why she's doing the more political thing in this film rather than being the general.
A shot of her talking to Laura Dern's character as well, Admiral Holdo.
Admiral Pink Hair.
And, yeah, but there's again. The more you watch it, there's more things you see. I didn't realise until we're just watching it again that Chewie's got rollers in.
Yeah,
that's part of the film.
Yeah, I think that might be behind the scenes. But there's also
he did lose hand. It might have really affected him. Chewie perm at the start of the film.
He's having a spa day to get over it.
Yeah, there was also you picked up on that shot of is it Kelly Marie Tran?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Wearing a First Order thing that looked kind of ill-fitting and a bit sort of daft. Now, either that is the most accurate depiction they've done yet in the series of the good guy battering the bad guy and putting on the costume, which obviously fits perfectly, like the one that fit perfectly on Jyn Erso in Rogue One, that black thing with the helmet and all that was just like perfectly tailor-made. So if she turns up in a really ill-fitting outfit, then that might be quite
like
accurate.
Indy at the end of Raiders.
I love that bit.
Yeah, but what do you think of Finn's outfit, the yellow jacket?
Well, it's like a pilot outfit, isn't it, essentially?
So disappointed he's not got cybernetics.
We don't know that yet.
You never know.
Yeah,
it might be hidden.
I wanted him to come out there like...
It might be all hidden under there.
It's not going to be like RoboCop, is
with
it?
Like spidery limbs coming out of his back.
Dr. Octopus.
A bit like the villain in Ant-Man. All the weird... Yeah, I was hoping for that. But
well, you never know. It's still only behind the scenes.
Lucasfilm need us, don't they?
Teasy bits. Nope. Yeah, they do. Well, that's why we're keeping the long hair. So, is that about all you want to discuss on the behind the scenes? Have we exhausted that one there?
There's plenty of other shots that are cool, like the red soil bit at the beginning. That looks good. And
I imagine that's from the AT-ACT.
Yeah.
Is it ACT or is it for Guerrilla?
Yeah, that shot in the trailer with those new ships going.
I think ACT's for Rogue One ones actually. Yeah. Now that I think about it, but yeah, for Guerrilla Walkers, that's from that shot, isn't it? So we're gonna see some heavy war stuff, much like Rogue One, I reckon, in that one.
Interesting.
People getting blown up to bits.
That's what we like.
Okay, so how about a little bit on Star Wars Land?
Ooh,
from D23. This is, I think this is actually the first time we've used StarWars.com as our source, which is a bit weird. But yes, Doug Chang, who of course Nick and I met at Star Wars Celebration. Ooh. Boom! There you go. Look at that selfie. He was delighted.
He doesn't have a man bun, does he?
He was just happy that somebody knew who he
You
was.
two look very creepy in that picture.
We do. Nick looks
does.
particularly
Nick
creepy in
does.
that
Yeah,
picture.
looks like. Yeah.
I was creepy at the best of times, to be fair.
In fact, I think that was after the Carrie Fisher panel, wasn't it? And then we just kind of came out and went to the other stage, and he was just sort of hanging around. So we just went, oh, Doug Chung, hi. But yeah, Doug Chung is
another restraining order.
Yeah, in the making.
Sheldon Cooper.
I've got all mine. I've got all mine framed.
How many have you got from Harrison?
I've got about 50 now. They just kind of get better and better, more
We're
detailed.
talking about autographs. Anyway.
Yeah, so Doug Chang obviously was did a lot of the design work on the. Well, he was brought in originally on the prequels, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. And he's continued to work through into the new saga. But he has been the key designer for Star Wars Land, which is coming to Disney in 2019.
Can't wait.
20.
Looks amazing.
And they unveiled, obviously because it's still under construction, they unveiled a few pictures of the model work to give you an idea of what Star Wars Land looks like. So I think we're just
so great. Looks like really immersive.
Yeah.
Like we'll be stepping foot in the Star Wars universe. Like really can't wait. Like for kid inside me, not like in a weird way. The kid inside me is like so excited about this. I just hope that I can get into America with that previous comment.
How many nerds do you think like us will actually go to Star Wars Land and then try and never leave? And then keep finding people camping and sleeping
bags and
like
stuff,
past the set and stuff.
Cutting open wampus and getting inside.
If you get onto that StarWars.com page we flashed up before, there's at least 30 pictures on there. So just go and have a spin through them. But I think we've got a couple up there separately, haven't we?
Yeah, we've shared a few on our page.
Yes, that's right. So we'll share them onto our page for you and get on the webpage there and just spin through them. But from looking at it, I mean, I'm not sure how classic Star Wars it is. I mean, there's a couple of things that look a bit sort of Tatooine-y, but mainly it seems to be kind of green, leafy.
Well, it's meant to be a new planet, isn't it?
Oh, it's just all one planet?
It's a new planet using similar aspects of all the planets we've met on the other films and such.
Right, okay.
From the pictures, you can see the YC-1300 in the spaceport, so I think there'll be a lot of the original trilogy bits and bobs in there.
Okay. I mean, that's...
Do you think this Star Wars Land planet will ever make it in a film like Pirates of the Caribbean style?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would have thought so. That's going to really sell it. I mean, it'll probably turn up in Last Jedi.
It might be. It's not Canto Bight, is it? No.
I didn't find out the planet, unfortunately.
I suppose practically as well, they need to have like some greenery and stuff. They couldn't make it a resort that's just all full of sand and desert stuff.
Yeah,
there's a couple of storms or something coming, it all gets washed away.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
So you have to.
I was going to say, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but I kind of would have liked to see a sort of representation of sort of each of the sort of famous planets around the place, so you can go and do the Hoth bit and go and do the Tatooine bit and stuff like that.
And stuff.
But
I think if you were going to do a Hoth bit though, it just looked really cheap and tacky, wouldn't it? Because you can't have real snow there for the entire time. I
suppose if you make it one big planet, then it's kind of a proper journey through, isn't it? Then rather than kind of little bits. So fair enough, but yeah.
I have high expectations.
We'll all be going, won't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll all be going. They're doing a hotel as well, aren't they?
Apparently so, yeah. With a storyline entwined in your stay, so you'll be able to take part of the Star Wars universe, but probably don't get to punch any stormtroopers in my bet.
Yeah,
or shoot them. Although
I imagine
in America, so maybe.
Maybe Force buns will become canon.
Maybe. I hope so.
They already are. Ray's got like.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know, there needs to be some bun love because Ray has got like 3 going on, hasn't she? Yeah, there you go. Tribal buns. So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to go and check it out. I'm sure that we won't need to take a mortgage out before we do that, but it should be pretty cool.
Well, for the hotel experience, I've heard dotted around the internet that it could be like up to $1,000 for the hotel.
Mm.
So like,
That
that's a story experience.
They worth
as well.
it though.
Stick your space kidneys on eBay.
I don't know if anybody pay that though, because it's like how good, like for $1,000, what do you expect? Like
2 weeks all inclusive
with Princess Leia,
all the blue milk you can drink.
I want me on Jawa.
A bottomless blue milk.
Wonder what people.
What if you get your own porg to take home though?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would
Selling point.
No.
Is it $1,000 worth? Like if it was like a real animal that they've just genetically
You open
modified.
With massive eyes.
You open the mini bar and there's a porg there. Where you got your hippie?
Vegans would be so
Take the
angry.
money.
The vegans would be so, the space vegans would be furious.
Like, can't have this abusive space puffins.
Okay. So, finishing up on D23, we'll just mention, get onto YouTube and check out the video of Mark Hamill's acceptance speech, because he became a Disney legend.
He was already a legend, though.
He was always going to be a legend, wasn't he? He always is. We do love Mark Hamill. But yeah, he did there's a nice little speech there, and of course a nice mention of Carrie Fisher at the end. So check that out. Moving along to Mr. Ron Howard, who of course has stepped into the fold of the collapsing Han Solo movie. There was a point, because I know I missed the last show and couldn't sort of mention this, but there was just one thing I wanted to mention about it. Ron Howard's favourite composer when he's making films is
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
All right.
Please don't make Hans Zimmer do the soundtrack for a Star Wars film. We don't need a Star Wars film. We just. Now I love classic Hans Zimmer, but modern Hans Zimmer, I think, as Jordan Royce from Starburst magazine once described him, as an audio comb-over.
Although he has been getting apparently good reviews for his soundtrack for Dunkirk, apparently. So.
Oh right. So Ixnay on the budadum say.
I think Kathleen Kennedy's going to be keeping a very close eye on the Han Solo film from now.
Yeah.
So.
I imagine that probably Michael, what's his name, who did Rogue One? Giacchino might get the job. Hopefully he does, because I think he did a rather smashing job.
Yeah, especially if he has like a proper time frame,
rather than like 5 seconds.
I think it was like a week and a half or something. Like it was not a long time to score an entire film. Yeah, definitely.
So props to him. Let's give him the job.
I always thought Giacchino should have followed John Williams anyway. That was always my pick. So
good.
I hope he carries on.
There you go. Ron tweeted a picture of Chewie checking out his the shot as they were setting it out. So you can check that out on Ron Howard's Twitter. Go and follow him there. And finishing up, this was something I mentioned a few episodes about how angry I was about the distinct lack of legacy cast merchandise for Force Awakens, if you remember. Took us a while to get the Han Solo figure, but it looks like now we are actually going to get the Black Series Luke and Rey. So somebody has leaked a picture of the Luke and Rey figures for the Last Jedi. So we expect those to be coming out probably ahead of the film. What do we think?
Might be on Force Friday in September.
It'll be September, yeah.
That'll be September.
Yeah.
So look out for those in September. Moving right along now. And now a welcome return of Legends Into Canon. Over to you, Sarah.
Okay. This week we've got Revan. Revan. A knight of the Jedi Order. A Republic general. And later, after the defeat of Mandalore the Ultimate, a Dark Lord of the Sith. Born almost 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, Revan started his training as a Jedi Knight. During this period, he and fellow Jedi Alec led a movement against the Council's wishes to aid the Republic fight against Mandalorian clans, earning himself the title of Supreme Commander. Donning the iconic mask of a fallen Mandalorian warrior, he went on to push the clans out of the territories and defeat Mandalore the Ultimate in 1-to-1 combat. After the fall of Mandalore, Revan and Alec, who is now known as Malak, both follow a path to the dark side, establishing their own empire using an ancient space station that was created by the Rakata, known as the Starforge. With this station, they were able to construct weapons as well as a military fleet, using their newfound power to wage war against both the Republic and the Jedi. Only for Revan to be betrayed by Malak and captured by the Jedi Knight Bastila Shan. Almost dying, his memory was erased by the Jedi Council and given a new identity as a soldier, and eventually retrained as a Jedi Padawan at the Jedi Enclave on Dantooine. He and Shan grew close as they were sent on missions to locate the star maps, another piece of Rakatan technology that would lead them back to the Starforge to stop Darth Malak. Having his memory restored, accepting his past, he rejected the dark side of the Force, killing Darth Malak, ending the war and regaining his title of Jedi Knight. After defeating Darth Malak, Revan and Bastila Shan were allowed to marry by the Jedi Council, only on the promise that Revan didn't philosophize his idea of love to the rest of the Jedi, being the only Jedi to be allowed to marry to my knowledge, in the history of the Star Wars universe. Before I continue to bore you, I'll open this up to the panel. Do you think we'll see Revan in the cinematic universe? Or even a mention in Rebels or such? So, do you think he's got a chance of having his own film?
Nope.
No?
Well, maybe like an animated one. I think as far as like these sort of like Legends characters are concerned, same with Thrawn, do you have to test for waters first, see how for general public react to them? Because obviously as big Star Wars fans, we hold them very near and dear to our hearts, but for general public are just like, who's that blue guy? Who's that guy with a silly hat / helmet? So it's gonna like, that was a few different characters. I know Revan's not blue, but yeah, like I think Netflix maybe, if they do like a Old Republic series, Revan would be a good person to follow, and I want to see some more Netflix stuff for or HBO. I'd settle for HBO as well because they're pretty good.
Yeah,
Star Wars feature quality TV series.
Yeah, the more I kind of hear about the Old Republic and these canon characters from you, and I know you know a bit about it as well. Like I know nothing about this stuff, so it's really interesting for me to hear about it. And I think, well, this, you know, there's no reason why they can't make this stuff canon. You know, it happened however many thousands of years, 4,000 years before like the Battle of Yavin and stuff like that. So that leads that wide open for them to be able to do stuff with it. So, and you know, with the, I was going to say with the exception of Rogue One, but that's total nonsense. Like everything we've seen, pretty much, apart from like Clone Wars, everything we've seen is all based around the Skywalker saga. Like you know, a few years here and there. So, you know, instead of like sort of beating a dead horse, so to speak, you know, with all the standalone films continuing, it's a space horse, Tauntaun. Like, you know, instead of beating a Tauntaun to death, like, why don't they kind of do that? You know, let's go, right, we've got a Star Wars film now that takes place 4,000 years. So you've got no, as an audience coming to it clean who doesn't know about the Old Republic, you got something brand new, you know, really brand new. You've got no expectations. You've not got all the potential mishaps that occur around trying to make sure you've hit all the correct continuity plot points. You know, which, as we know, were pretty well missed occasionally. I think
one of the things that might concern for people at Disney is like you don't have them iconic things like stormtroopers and stuff. All you really have if you do Old Republic stuff is lightsabers. Really,
that's all you need.
That's all you're here for. Lightsabers, droids, and
Mandalorians. But like, I think they are just absolutely scared syphilis.
Scared syphilis.
Scared syphilis.
Is this the Star Wars Henry VIII film that we've made?
Yeah, the scared syphilis of anything that might prove to be controversial. Like they're terrified of prequels. aren't they? Like, it's because I think that's like a lot of the things
We're
that
terrified of the prequels as well.
Rogue One's a prequel.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I like
Rogue One.
I like
so
the
bad.
prequels to some degree. Like the watchable films, I'll say that. I won't say they're like as good as the original trilogy, but you don't like, especially in the Phantom Menace. I think one of the things that like people really hated about it is like you got like battle droids, not stormtroopers, and like stuff like that. I think people are like, oh, where's the stormtroopers? And that's maybe one of the small reasons why people got so butthurt about it.
What about you, Michael?
I think, following on from what you're saying, I think if they're going to use Revan for a storyline, I think something like a Netflix series would probably work quite well. If it's very much sort of Game of Thrones with lightsabers and just something completely different, I think people probably would pick up on it. And if it's maybe more adult themed, but
Do you think they'll try to incorporate him into
they've
the
started
current films?
cherry picking, haven't they? Bits of canon, like they brought Thrawn back into Rebels, and there's little bits of Rey,
Even
which
Darth
you could
Bane
say is part
is,
of Mara
canon
Jade.
now,
So
so-
wouldn't be surprised if there's a character that evolves in one of the films that's maybe based on Revan. But I don't know if they'd bring him in. I don't know how well known he would be in the general public to just bring him in.
I mean, I think, like you're saying, in terms of a TV show, that would be a smart way to. Why can't they just do an Old Republic TV show?
Yeah, because then they can bring in a lot more characters.
You know, obviously you're going to be dealing with quite a big budget if you want to make it as glossy as something like Game of Thrones, but at the same time you're not kind of risking quite as much as you would if you do a film. And I think...
And you got a Star Wars budget.
Yeah.
So, like, they've obviously got the money to do it.
Well, exactly.
For sure.
So, and the films are making enough money to prop up that kind of thing. And this is the one kind of thing that really kind of annoys me about Hollywood is that, you know, the studios, etc., are always terrified about doing this and doing that and doing the other. What they need to do is treat A, the fan base, and B, just people in general with a bit of, not respect, but just kind of, you know, understand that we're not all idiots. Like, you know, we can have something unique and original, and without having to constantly retread new ground, to give us something where we go, wow, right, I'm going in with no expectations whatsoever. I'm going to get something that's Star Wars, but it's brand new, it's interesting, but old, brand new.
I think Revan was one of the first Black Series figures that Hasbro brought out that was Legends. So the Black Series line that's just been going, you know, the 6-inch Black Series that's just been going the last few years. Revan's one of the characters they brought in from Legends. I think it's the only one just because he's so popular. So
have you got one?
There must be.
I can't say I've got a 6-inch figure.
They must be aware.
Christmas sorted.
There we go. So they must be aware that how popular he is. So I won't rule it out that they're going to use some form of him. Do you think the storyline about the wife and what you were telling us, do you think that could crop up in episode 8, like we were saying, between Rey and Kylo?
I can't see why it won't happen, especially if Kylo does end up on the light side and Rey goes to the dark side. It could be that they form a bond of some sort. Making babies.
Space babies.
One question that I have, and I know it's echoed by both these gentlemen, the esteemed gentlemen either side of me, is why is the technology exactly the same when it's 4,000 years in the past?
Well, it's not actually, because we don't have Ritake technology later on, do we?
I don't know what that is.
Ratatake. I can't pronounce it. I'm very sorry.
So are they like throwing rocks and deflecting with lightsabers, or
like the Ewoks?
Yeah. What's going on?
You know, I mean, there's no reason that they couldn't readjust the technology to make it a bit more believable. I mean, you know, that was one of the kind of things that I remember when in the lead up to the prequels, when I started seeing the ships and stuff, and I was like, what? Like, they all look way more like complicated and brand new and shiny than anything that was in the original,
well,
the original films.
Like the height of the Republic, right?
Yeah, then I understood that, of course, later on, but you know, it didn't make sense at the time.
30 years, I suppose, isn't it? But
so
I suppose they could have it where they could maybe make it that there's no hyperspace travel, and it's a bit more of a localized film, and the lightsabers like Kylo's are more medieval looking, and try and just make everything look more dated but still have blasters and
dark and gritty.
Yeah,
everything must be dark and gritty.
They could probably give it a completely different feel, so it is a bit more like Lord of the Rings, but lightsabers.
Yeah.
The lightsabers been around forever.
Lightsabers themselves are like an ancient weapon anyway, aren't
Yeah.
they? So I think lightsabers can stay the same, but as far as blasters go, you want to see like pa-choo!
Yeah.
Pea shooters.
Reloaded. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it.
Me too.
Let us know what you think. Okay. Time for another quick mention of our Club Star Wars competition. Your artwork absolutely is required to be an original piece of work. Artwork must be saved in high definition, 1920 by 1080 size. Gamer tag must be included with your submission for proper identification. Final works must be submitted to clubstarwars@outlook.com. Good luck and may the force be with you. And that just about wraps it up once again.
I always hate leaving, even though this is the hottest studio in the world, and I feel like
it is.
I've lost most of my body weight.
We managed to arrange again to do the podcast that I returned to do, which was almost as hot outside as it was last time. I think it had kind of more of a
moist
vibe, but like not Tatooine this time. I think it was more kind of Mustafari. I don't know. Mustafari by Dior. Make sure you get it. So we'll see you next time, and we'll just do more of the same. May the force be with you. Wow!